Little Cunningham syndrome again. He keeps whispering.
What happened? They're whispering at you
Yeah.
again?
Unbelievable.
Richie, you got to tell them no more whispering. We don't whisper.
He's trying to
and
keep
we
them-
don't play air sports in the hallways. Okay?
Yes, we do.
Am I asking for too much?
Yes.
You know what?
It's crazy to me.
I think if he has a future on the tour,
He doesn't.
well, but you never know.
This is
I
Air
know.
Sports Central WFAN. We will
Listen.
never stop. In fact, I'm going to get up right now and do my Griffey.
Don't.
Here we go. Now batting for the Seattle
looks
Mariners.
nothing like Griffey,
To be
and
honest,
that's-
that's a little different. You're trying to mimic someone's swing. But I walk around this building, and I got these non-athletic people practicing their golf swing, their baseball pitching, and I don't like it. So I've mandated here, and I told Spike, no more air
And you know what
sports.
Spike said? You know what I said? Kissing my ass.
He did say that. He did. So
Well, I mean, it's
he's
been nice
defying
working
me
with
now. So Tommy's going to have a good day today.
It'll be Carton coming up.
Because now my attention's on Spike, not on Tommy.
There you go.
There you go.
As well it should be. Coverage on the fan of the Yankees and Red Sox tonight at 6:30. Mets after.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You've been watching sports a long time in
Yes.
this town. Do this for a long time, right?
Yep.
Here's my question. If you had to use an adjective, I'm going to take a leap of faith that you know what happened last night, but I'm pretty sure you do. If you had to use an adjective to describe Gerrit Cole's performance last night, top of your head, what adjective would you use?
I'm going to go anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yeah.
Is that an adjective?
I don't know.
I'm not sure if that's
Just the
an
first
adjective.
word that came to my mind, only because
Okay,
Rafael Devers.
I'm going to give you one.
All right.
You tell me, does it apply or not? Is that a fair game to play?
Sure, go
And
ahead.
I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just going to throw it out there, okay?
Throw it out there.
I'm going to use it in a sentence.
I like
Gerrit Cole was great last night.
it. Not going to say great.
Not going to say great.
Not going to say great.
Okay, so you and I are in
Good,
lockstep.
good enough, but not great.
Mm,
Okay.
They won the game, didn't they?
They did. So I said good enough.
I agree with you.
But we all agree, or at least you and I agree,
Mm-hmm.
great is not the word we're going to use.
I'm with you on that.
Thank you, Ak.
All
That's
right.
why I love you.
And you can hear it on the fan tonight. Game 2 of the series at 6:30. Mets and Marlins coming up at Citi Field. This report is brought to you by HomeServe Heating and Cooling of New York. Visit HomeServeNY.com. AC season is here, and HomeServe can get you out of any cooling system jam, whether it's cooling repairs, installs, tune-ups, or service plans.
Great.
HomeServe is the only call for AC relief. It's happening right here. Visit HomeServeNY.com today or call 844-655-HVAC. And that's what's happening.
All
in the
right.
Jack.
I mean, great. Now, here's the reality. There is somebody who watched last night's game who disagrees with Ak, who disagrees with me, who actually thinks that Gerrit Cole's performance last night could be summed up with the word great. I assume you are not that guy, Evan. Are you?
I would not call Garrett's performance last night great.
How could you? He gave him 5 runs.
Yeah, I would give him credit.
Boston
I
Red
would give him
Sox.
credit for pitching a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. I'd say,
Okay,
hey, that was
great.
a positive.
Yeah.
But no, that was not a great performance.
If you watched last night's Yankee game and you think Gerrit Cole was great, you're an ass kisser. Or you're Susan Wallman.
Did she say it was great?
Evan, you should have heard last night. While Devers is taking him yard,
Right.
Susan Wallman's talking about how he's really good against everybody else. It was, honestly, it got to the point it was embarrassing.
You know what's crazy, though? Like, the big story is Rafael Devers, as it should be. I'm going to give you 2 things that happened that led to Devers hitting home runs.
All
That
right.
is not great. That's bad.
Yeah.
And the guy's name I'm going to bring up is the guy who was batting 9th last night for the Boston Red Sox. You may have remembered him. His name is Kevin Plawecki. Kevin Plawecki picked up a single right before Devers hit his first home run.
Correct.
Before Devers hit his second home run, Kevin Plawecki drew a walk on a check swing
Right.
that Gerrit Cole thinks, maybe he went around on.
He wanted
pulled
it.
a little bit of a Carlos Carrasco. If you get Kevin Plawecki out,
Right.
it's a different game.
I don't know how you could have watched last night's game. And let me just say, paramount, of course, is the fact the Yankees won the game.
Sure.
And I'm never going to minimize winning is the only thing that matters. So let's just get that out of the way. Obviously, we're all thrilled. The Yankees went to Fenway. I don't think they really exercised any demons from last year, but they won the game. And great, we won the game.
Did Gerrit
That's
Cole?
what matters.
Did Gerrit Cole exercise
Gerrit
demons?
Cole pitched like crap.
But he got a win.
He got to win.
And he even said it after the game. It was a winning performance. Wasn't
But
a great
it
performance.
wasn't.
No, there's a difference between a great performance and a winning performance. He was not great last
So
night. I'm not
if
arguing
you
that.
win 9-8 and he gives up 8 runs, but they win the game, is that a winning performance?
Technically,
Because
yes.
essentially that's what he's saying. Now, I'll tell you, he pitched really good against most of the rest of the lineup. Okay, fine.
Not Kevin Plawecki.
But come on, man.
Not the 9th place hitter that you're supposed to get out, which kind of led
I
to
don't
Devers
get
being
it.
up with guys on base. Like, that can't be ignored. It's not as simple as, well, Rafael Devers killed him and no one else did. There were guys
Right.
on base when Devers came up both times.
Exactly.
If
He
there's-
didn't hit solo home runs.
So if there's nobody on base, you're in more of a position to say, I'm pitching around.
It's
I'm not
almost
even
like
going to face him.
there's a group of Yankee fans, starting with Susan Waldman, who see nothing wrong at all ever with Gerrit Cole. And it fascinates me. And you know what? I think one of those people is among us. I think one of those apologists is among us. Now, I know it's not my son. He didn't watch the game last night. I know it's not Tommy. He's a Mets fan. And he was probably crying all night last night. Well, honey, he's mean to me again. But I do think Chub Rock over there is one of those guys. Am I right?
What's up? No, I'm not an apologist. I just think, you take things overboard. Crap. He pitched like crap last
Gave up
night.
5
You
runs.
watched him. He pitched like crap last
He
night.
gave up 5 runs.
I understand he gave
You're
up
gonna
5
lose
runs
that
on
game in
2
the
swings. How do you know? Who are the Red Sox pitching? And that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Winning performance, he kept them
Well,
in
the
the
Red
game.
Sox
They were
are
never
not
losing.
pitching Josh Winkowski in a playoff game, I can tell you that.
That's
So if
true.
you want to bring up, I don't know who the Red Sox are pitching,
Yeah.
I'll save it
Well,
for you.
okay.
It won't be
No.
him.
Okay, who will it be? This the guy beating up the minor league ballparks, or who's going to be starting for the Boston Red
So let me
Sox?
ask you a question.
He
What's your
he
adjective?
was okay last
So
night.
Gerrit Cole last night was okay.
Last night he was throwing
That's your
100-mile-an-hour
word, okay.
fastballs on the corner with good stuff, making most people look bad.
You know what he
got
was?
beat twice by a
What?
great
You know what he was?
player.
And this is not good enough for a lot of Yankee fans, nor yourself, but I think it's going to be an accurate description. Gerrit Cole last night at Fenway Park was better than he usually is at Fenway Park.
His ERA is
and that's a
6.
fact.
There's giving up 6 runs and pitching like crap, and then
Yeah.
there's giving up 5 runs and pitching the way he pitched. There's a difference.
Well, because he had a
wasn't in
lead.
trouble
He
every
pitched-
single inning. He wasn't walking guys every single inning. He gave up 2 big swings to their best player.
Well, and he also
it's
did
not
it-
good. It's not great.
He
It's
also
okay.
did it with a lead. And
Yeah.
sometimes you are going to approach people
Correct.
differently when you've got a cushion. And Gerrit Cole pitched to his cushion last night. Now, he got bailed out by the fact that the Yankee bullpen was utterly
phenomenal.
brilliant
Yeah,
last night.
it was.
I mean, Wandy Peralta and that combo of King Clay, if you want to call it
No,
that.
the bullpen did a great job, like it's done the entire
And to
season.
Cole's credit, where I thought it was really, really important was to get you that 6th inning. And he did. He pitched
Yeah,
a
no,
1, 2, 3,
I think
6th
the
inning.
6th inning was his best inning of the game, obviously, because it's 6-5 game, and he goes 1, 2, 3.
But you know what's great,
So,
though?
I want to be
I got-
clear.
I got good news
He
for
did
you.
a good job. He battled through it.
I got good news
but
for
he
you.
wasn't great.
No, he wasn't. But I got good news for you and every other Yankee fan who doesn't trust Gerrit Cole at Fenway Park, nor should you. There's a
Right.
really good chance he's not going to have to pitch a big game at Fenway Park.
That's true.
Because
That's very true.
if the Yankees and Red Sox meet in the divisional series, which could very well happen, mark my words, Gerrit Cole's going to pitch game 1 and he's going to pitch game 5. He's not going to have to walk inside Fenway Park again. So exercising those demons, as you say or I say, may turn out to be irrelevant. He may
Yeah.
never have to walk in that building and win a big game.
Meanwhile, while the New York Yankees were beating the Boston Red Sox, there was a couple thousand fans at Yankee Stadium last night, and Derek Jeter was there. And they rolled out the old Yankees, 2 of them in particular, Reggie Jackson and Dave Winfield.
Wow.
Kind of interesting, right? Considering he didn't play with either one of them. I thought that was interesting last night. But of course, the Yankee fans that went last night thought they saw Jesus.
How many people
And
ended up showing up?
that's- I do not know the number, so I'm not going to get.
I saw a few
it
videos
looked
and
like a couple
pictures.
thousand people, though.
Yeah,
right?
based on the pictures and the videos, my guess is a couple of thousand people, and they
Yeah.
got to see part 1 of the Jeter doc.
part 1 and 2.
Oh, part 1 and 2.
Yeah, they
Okay.
showed the first 2 parts of it.
Nice.
And guess what? It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. Derek Jeter walks on water.
So is it basically?
I love it.
Because I'm excited to see this. Is this
Yeah.
documentary going to be an ass-kissing piece for 8 parts?
Yes,
Or are we going to
I
get
think
some
so.
critical things about Jeter?
Well, first off, what could there be that's critical about Derek
Well,
Jeter?
we don't know. That's the point.
Like, I guarantee you that they don't go down his sexual partners. I'm sure that that's not part of this
Okay, how about his
documentary.
relationship with Alex? I think that's
I mean,
fascinating.
that's kind of got to be in it, right?
I would hope so.
But it's only going to be in it, my anticipation at least, is from Derek Jeter's
The
perspective.
problem is, like, as
Right.
good as the Jordan doc was, the Michael Jordan documentary was basically an infomercial for the greatness of Michael Jordan. And I love that documentary, but
And
that's the
everybody
truth.
loved it.
And
Right.
yeah, so I'm curious, is this going to be an infomercial for the greatness that is Derek Jeter?
Listen, Derek Jeter didn't sign up to do it if it's not going to be a glob job.
Well, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a hit piece, but can it be something in the middle where we learn something about Derek Jeter?
Well, so is there any aspect of Derek Jeter on or off the field that you feel like, gosh, I'd like to know more about that?
I just told you I want to know more about the fallout with A-Rod and then becoming teammates.
Is A-Rod in it? Is he?
He is,
in
in
it?
one of the promos it has him.
But I guarantee A-Rod kisses his ass.
And then, then there's even a
There's
line
no
from
doubt.
Jeter that's making its rounds that I think is about this,
Go
where
ahead.
it's something along the lines of, I believe in loyalty, but loyalty without return is just idiocy.
Yes, I did see
That's
that.
a great
so-
line.
Right. So
Yeah,
that's
line.
But I'm not sure
and
that's about.
I think it's
A-Rod or more
they
about
put it
the
on right
Yankees.
after A-Rod. It's kind
Oh,
of
is that
like
right?
because they were good friends, and then the line came
Well,
out in
and
the magazine, and then
That line actually reminds me of something else I'd be interested in.
I
and
agree with
that's
that line,
his
by the way.
contract negotiations with the Yankees and Brian Cashman
Cashman.
basically
Could
be
telling
that
them,
too.
go shop
Well,
your
hold on.
offer.
To be fair, clearly Jeter's still in good graces and thinks very highly of the Yankee organization and the Steinbrenner family. His thing was with Cashman.
Right.
Because if you didn't have a good relationship with the Yankees, last night's event doesn't happen.
Right.
Right? So could it be Cashman? Could it be A-Rod? For sure, it could be both.
But I would like to learn about those things. Plus, I think what you want in a documentary is you want to learn something. Like, my biggest problem with the ESPN documentary about the 86 Mets last year is it just regurgitated information we already knew.
Right.
I didn't learn anything.
Wow.
I want to learn something about Derek Jeter because Derek Jeter was an athlete when we both sort of covered him in terms of being on the air while he was around.
Yeah.
I feel like we never got to know him. I feel like we never really learned that much about him while he
I
was
feel
here.
like I know Derek Jeter the way I know one of my children. And that's how close Derek and I are, of course.
That's such BS.
That's such BS. I tell you, the only question, and I know this is going to seem somewhat predictable from me, is I would love to know if the story is true that he made girls sign NDAs and gave them gift baskets on the way out.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I would, because that's
agree.
out there like it's factual.
Right.
But it's urban legend, right? I would love to know.
Well, no, and you know what would be great? If Jeter says, look, I had a wild time and I wanted to make sure that my privacy was kept private. And so here's my thinking behind this, and this. I think we'd all say, wow, that's interesting and
like, I
understandable.
don't think it's a negative.
Right.
I appreciate the fact if he did it, he was thinking that far in advance.
Right, right.
Like there's another urban legend out there that he had cameras in every room, not to be a voyeur or to be weird and go back and watch himself having sex, but so that if anybody ever accused him of something, he would have video evidence to disprove the claim.
What did you do last night?
With my voice?
Yeah, why'd you
I
go
don't
backwards? Were you screaming at Garrett Cole?
know. I was screaming at Garrett Cole last
Were
night.
you pumped up when J.D. Davis hit a grand slam? Like, what the
Evan,
hell was going on?
I almost did come into work today, but unlike a lot of people that work here, I have something called work ethic. I show up for work even when I sound like crap.
What happened,
And
though?
I'm upset about it. I even had chicken soup for lunch today.
Right.
Because I thought the hot broth would be great for my throat. It's also why I didn't open the show the way we normally do, because I couldn't say the words. You want to, if you, is that true? I swear. If you want to see behind the curtain, I couldn't say that's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
So I just figured, let me just kind of slyly get into the content of the show.
Starting at
I know
5
I sound like
o'clock,
crap.
we can continue Carton and Roberts. You can leave, and me and Sonny will do the rest of the show.
By the way,
Carton and Roberts are on the fan.
Yeah, but then it's just going to be basketball and how much he loves Steph Curry.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and
We'll
this
argue about
audience,
KD and Curry.
this audience doesn't want to hear
I
it.
won't talk Steph.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So,
Do you know what your son does? He will
Yes.
DM me every 6 hours some kind of story about Steph Curry being amazing. And it's like, dude,
I know. It's gotten to a point where even at home,
It's
we're like,
weird.
Sonny, please
You
stop.
gotta stop
Like,
it.
we're
Today,
begging you to stop.
I didn't send you a Steph video today. I sent you a KD video.
right, but that's a part of your Steph love is to attack Kevin Durant.
Yes, that's correct.
It's all connected.
Matter of fact, he said to me earlier today that if Steph wins another MVP award,
No, I
we
said
can start
championship.
having the conversation. Oh, yeah. If Steph wins another championship, we can start the Steph Kobe comparisons. No joke. That's on his mind.
No. I got you, bro. Steph Curry was a better player than Kobe Bryant. And if that's controversial, I apologize. He was.
I'm not going to argue.
I don't want to go down that road.
No, he was. We don't have to continue the discussion. You could just trust me and we can move on.
I disagree wholeheartedly with that, but not for today. Anyway, listen, you're a diehard Yankee fan. Did last night make you feel better about Gerrit Cole, the same about Gerrit Cole, or worse about Gerrit Cole? That's the question. 877-337-6666, okay? Now, to be fair, after the game, it was Aaron Boone who said,
Garrett, I thought was great tonight.
so, the manager of the Yankees,
Your guy.
my guy,
Your guy.
thought that Gerrit Cole was great last night. I happen to disagree. But they won the game, and that's all that matters.
Have you texted Aaron? What were you smoking?
No.
It wasn't great last
because
night, you
here's-
buffoon.
There's a couple topics with Aaron Boone that he and I are diametrically opposed on.
Right.
And I've gotten to the point in my relationship with Aaron where I don't even bring it up anymore.
It's like politics and religion. You don't even touch it. You know
Right.
you disagree. Let's move on.
So he and I have an understanding.
Yeah.
Excuse me. He loves Gerrit Cole. I don't. Period. Stop. And that's where we leave it. Because he has texted me many times about how infuriating it is to him to hear me talk about how bad Gerrit Cole
Well,
is.
because you are wrong about that. And like the one thing I brought up to you yesterday, and you quickly moved on because you know you can't argue it.
Which one is that?
Is that over the last 5 years, there hasn't been a pitcher in baseball as reliable as Gerrit Cole.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
defy you to come up with somebody, and you can't. Now, that doesn't mean right now, who would I rather have pitching a big game, Max Scherzer or Gerrit Cole? I'm not necessarily saying Gerrit Cole. What I'm telling you, and this is valuable, this is why when I get DMs last night, he's not worth $300 million.
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line with Gerrit Cole. He takes the baseball every 5 days, and he's one of the better pitchers in baseball. Now, are there games in which you rip your hair out? Does he struggle at Fenway Park? I'm not going to deny any of that. I'm not going to say he was great last night. That's a lie.
Yeah.
But the one thing you have to admit, and if you don't admit it,
Go ahead.
give me a name or two. Has there been a starting pitcher more reliable than Gerrit Cole over the last 5 years?
Yeah, I don't have an answer for you. Because the answer
there
is
is
there isn't one.
nobody.
Right. I'm good.
The closest guy to it is Max Scherzer, but Max over the last 5 years has made 17 less starts.
Yes.
Which you could argue is maybe too many fewer starts than Gerrit Cole.
It's weird. It's almost as if how do I put this the proper way? It's that I've seen Gerrit Cole be so good that when he's not, it offends me. Does that make sense?
You have expectations
Yeah.
for him that he's going to be
And
great
part of it's the
every
money.
time out.
I'll agree. Part of it's the salary he makes.
Right.
But I have an expectation now that Gerrit Cole's brilliant.
Yeah.
And more often than not, he's okay.
Right.
And that's my problem with it. So I will take ownership of
I
that.
think he has a bar, not just from you, but from a lot of Yankee fans, because he was paid $300 million.
That's a huge part of it.
And you're not going to admit this, but I'll say it anyway. Because he shares a town with Max Scherzer and even Jacob deGrom.
That doesn't bother me.
Where you know, at their best, Gerrit Cole's not as good as those guys.
Yeah.
But that's not my point. My point is Gerrit Cole's reliable. He's making starts every 5 days.
Yep.
And he's been doing it for 5
You know,
years.
I guess it goes back down to that TRU. Is that 5 letters? Yeah, 5-letter word trust. I just don't trust him. I wish I did.
Do you trust him against the Astros? Because that's the ultimate test, right? Don't we all agree that, unless something crazy happens,
Well,
we are
I'll
destined to
say
see
this.
Yankees-Astros.
I
Do you
trust
tr-
him more against the Astros than I do against the Red Sox.
Okay,
so I'll give you
the
that.
Red Sox own him. Like, we
Yeah.
established that.
Yeah.
He struggles at Fenway Park. We've established that. But he's also, when he's faced the Astros, the limited times he has since he's left.
He's been pretty good.
Has he been?
Yes, he
How'd
has.
he do in Houston when he returned?
Yeah, he's been pretty good.
Do you trust him?
More than I do against Boston, yes. I'll give you that.
Is that
That's
what
the best
matters?
I'm going to give you.
Isn't that what matters?
Well, if I get to the ALCS, yeah. That's what's
you
going to
may
matter.
never see the Red Sox.
Correct. That's fair.
Look,
I
Gerrit
own
Cole's
that.
not perfect. And at his best, is Gerrit Cole the best pitcher in baseball? No, he's not. If I have a healthy Jacob deGrom, he's better. That's not me as a Met fan. That's a fact.
Right.
If I have a healthy Max Scherzer, he's better. But Max Scherzer and Jacob deGrom and now Walker Buehler
Are not reliable.
and Justin Verlander a year ago because he had Tommy John surgery aren't out there making 30 starts every single season.
877-337-6666. Carton and Roberts on the Fan. Look, I apologize for how I sound, but I come to work every day. I'm like Gerrit Cole. All right, I'm reliable.
I like that.
Every day I come to work, even the days I'm not at my best. I come to work.